Hey everybody, it is the beginning of week 2, Monday, and I am still at home. So if you are watching this and you are in New York State, real estate agents are not allowed per Governor Cuomo and per our New York State Association of Realtors and other guidelines to be out showing homes or going on listing appointments. So what are we going to talk about on this Monday? We're going to talk about doing all of that virtually and what that could mean for you. So stick around, but right now I'm going to talk to you just a tiny little bit about how I'm spending my time in quarantine. I guess it's not really quarantine. I guess it's quarantine if you really can't leave the house at all for 14 days. But we can go to the grocery store, we can go out and do a walk or a hike, and we've definitely been taking advantage of that, although I definitely have been eating way too much. So I will share that with you. My husband and I started a puzzle. This is the puzzle we're working on. It's only 750 pieces, but I haven't done a puzzle since I can't even tell you when. So, as I mentioned to you all, I have planned on doing a live, well, no, not a live, a video on YouTube every Monday. I did miss one Monday when the quarantine or the stay-at-home order, whatever happened, because I was just really spinning around with my head and not quite understanding it all. But I did post it the next day. So I'm hoping that you all are enjoying my little videos about real estate and that you will subscribe. You hit the subscribe button on your YouTube channel, and that helps me get more looks and more likes. And YouTube is actually a search engine, which is pretty cool. So it's not like normal social media. YouTube, when people search moving to Albany, they might find me. So it can help me a lot if you subscribe, even if you don't want to watch the videos all the time. So I'm going to get right to the point. So in New York State, we are considered, real estate agents, we're considered non-essential. There's some back and forth about whether or not home inspectors are non-essential. Most of the home inspectors that I work with are working right now. However, when they go to do a home inspection, they need to be alone in the house. And they can't have the buyer there or the realtor there, or the seller there. But most of the home inspectors that I work with have talked to the Department of State, and they are actually able to do the business, which is good, because I did get a couple of houses under contract right before this happened, and actually one since this happened. And at least inspections are able to proceed with restrictions for sure. But we are not allowed at this point, per Governor Cuomo's orders, to go out and show homes. So if I have a buyer and they want to see a home, I have to show them that home virtually, which is a little bit complicated, but we are working out the kinks. So I have a new set of sellers and buyers. It's somebody I showed a house or sold a house to 3 or 4 years ago, and they are ready to make their move up. So we've been meeting virtually through Zoom or FaceTime. Some of you might be doing Zoom meetings with your children through school. So we have been able to meet that way, and I have been able to give them some pointers on how to get their house ready. And they are going to do that. We gave them a checklist and everything they're going to do. Spend $1,000 or less to kind of upgrade their kitchen and do some painting. So they have a good L-shaped kitchen, decent cabinetry, no wonky hardware. It is oak, but it's kind of a plain oak, almost looks like a maple. The current backsplash situation is sort of a plaid type of a wallpaper, which will be a no-go for any buyer that wants to look at this house. We don't want that plaid wallpaper showing up on Zillow or any place that anybody's going to be looking for a home. So I'm going to have them do a peel and stick subway tile. That's really reasonable to do. It's not hard to do. They have some help that they can get from their parents to do this kind of work, and their parents have been watching their 2-year-old, so it's all legit in terms of who's getting involved and who's going over to the house. They are also going to do some updating on the paint, and they are going to probably replace the countertops because it is only an L-shaped kitchen. That is probably not going to cost a whole heck of a lot, maybe $500 total, if they can do it by having it cut right at the store, which I think they can. The other thing that they might do is maybe a peel and stick floor or a sheet of linoleum on the floor, because the floor is kind of dated too. So under $1,000, and it's going to make the value of the house increased probably by, I would say, about $10,000 or $15,000, believe it or not. So that's one of the things that you can do if you are interested in improving your home while you are home and stuck. So, and that's something that I can do with you virtually, because I can take a look at your house virtually. So do not let the coronavirus, do not let being home ruin your spring plans. Spring might come a little bit later in terms of getting your home on the market, but it definitely can happen. Now, quickly, we'll go back to virtual showings for buyers. How do we do this? So one of the things that we can do is we can have the seller's agent and the seller and the buyer's agent all do a Zoom meeting. So the Zoom meeting can take place and everybody's in a separate location. The seller is obviously in their home. So the buyers and the buyer's agent can walk through their home virtually. And if they have questions, they want to zoom in on something. They want to look closely at the furnace, or they want to look closely at the cabinetry and see if it's soft close. They can ask all of these questions of the seller, and we can facilitate that. And it can really function very much like an in-person showing, but you're not actually seeing the house in person. So it can be done. It has been done. We have a couple of agents in our area who have done these virtual showings and have actually gotten buyers under contract to buy a house that they have not physically seen. In my 17 years in business, I have shown and sold 2 houses to people who have not seen them because they were out of state. But I physically was in the house. So this is a little different because I'm not even physically in the house. The home inspector will be able to go to the house. The home inspector will be able to perform a very thorough inspection, and all of that will be good. So there also is the possibility of adding in a clause in the purchase contract that basically states that once the restrictions are lifted, the buyer has the ability to be able to go to the house and preview it, make sure it meets their expectations. And if it doesn't, they could back out of the contract. The part about that I don't like, because I represent a lot of sellers, is that what happens if they do that and their house has been tied up for all this time and another buyer hasn't been able to do it. So I think there's going to need to be some tweaking with that with the attorneys in terms of making it work to do the contracts. But, there's been a lot of talk in the industry about, hey, just wait until this is over. Well, some people really can't wait. Some people had their house under contract before this all happened, and they don't have anywhere to go. So they need to buy. There's issues here where you have some people who are relocating even for work. Somebody for the state of New York, for example. These people need to find houses. So we need to figure out a way to make it work. So that's where the creativity comes in, and it can be done. You have to have a good relationship with your realtor, and you have to be able to have a good relationship with the other agent that you're cooperating with in terms of being able to do the virtual showings and all of that. Buyers are definitely hungry. Buyers are out there and they are looking for homes. They're sitting home on the internet, and if buying a home or getting a bigger home or selling a home was something that they were thinking of doing, believe me, they're thinking about it even more now because they're not working and they don't have that distraction. So keep that in mind. Please remember that on Wednesday, I am going live on Facebook. So if you're not my friend on Facebook, or you don't like my page, which is the Cindy McMahon team at Hunt Real Estate ERA, please go ahead and do that so that you can sign up. You can also sign up to be notified when I go live. But I'm going to try to do this all throughout this time that we are all at home, live on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. I will have a beverage of choice with me, typically wine, but could be an IPA. I don't know. But Wednesday, 4 o'clock, happy hour with Cindy. Okay. Have an awesome rest of your week. Enjoy and be safe out there. Thank you.